last but not least, Jared, our host, has played one of my absolute favorite pieces. And it was written in 1827. These Schubert impromptus were what established pop music in the early 1800s. It's a lyrical, it's a serenade. This piece is a serenade. It has wonderful, long, long lines. Schubert was a great songwriter. He didn't live really long. I think it was after he died. I didn't look this up, but I do know that 30 years after he composed it, it was published. But it was published in a different key. Did you know that, Jared?
I had no idea.
Well, it was published in G major.
That doesn't, I mean, I guess it's easier to play, but it doesn't have the same sound, the same
I think he
four
did it
chord.
after Schubert died. It wasn't very nice. Anyway, it's always played in G flat major with 6 flats. And I don't think I have anything else to say before you play it, unless you want to speak about your approach to it before you play it.
Um, well, like you said, it's very lyrical and it's this just long melody line. So the challenge is to get the melody lines, and then there's these sort of, it's very Schumann-esque. There's like notes in the middle that are filler, and then there's a bass line that accompanies it. So you have to get the treble line, connected and singing out, and then you have to have the bass line matched, and then the notes in between just sort of flutter. And it's hard to get the balance right. But I guess if we can make it sing, then the rest of it falls into place.
Yes, it's supposed to sound a little bit like a harp.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Are you doing the unicorda?
Sort of a la carte. Sometimes I feel like, especially when there's a sudden pianissimo after the volume comes up a little bit.
Right.
But but to be honest, I didn't mark it in my part, and I just sort of do it when I feel like it.
You have the lid up or down?
Just partially up, because if I put it all the way down, then you sometimes can't hear the articulation of the treble notes. The bass notes come out too strong.
I trust you on that.
All right, we'll see how it goes. You ready?
All right, thank you. Very nice, very nice. I think the unicorda thing is going to help. Um, it was beautiful. This is one of my all-time favorites. Have you heard anybody else play this, Jared?
You know, I think the only most recent recording I heard might have been Vladimir Horowitz, one of his last performances. He plays it really slowly, and it's just beautiful.
It is. It truly is. I also have heard the kissing. The kissing
I
does
don't
not
tend to
help.
like his recordings that much. I mean, he's very good, but it's not my taste. But
My suggestion for you to make it seem like a more whole, complete idea rather than a little. Some parts were a little bit, um, maybe a little bit choppy. I would say whenever these arpeggio parts where you have um, 11 notes at a time, you know, where you play the first beat with the pinky and all the other ones. Let's call those the arpeggiated
sure.
notes. I would say do not do crescendos in those. I would love to hear this again in in March,
Sure.
if you don't mind. I'd like to give you a few ideas and then bring it back.
That's
One of
great.
them is, like I said, don't put those dynamics in the arpeggios. The the crescendos are led by the bass notes. For example, well, on the last page, you have the descending passage, the G, the F flat, the D natural. Those that crescendo is led by the top notes. I would not put them in any other notes. And listen to the Horowitz and the Kissin and see if you can hear what I'm talking about with that. The other thing I was going to suggest, Jared, boy, you did a good job on this. Some parts I was like, oh, the Schubert just breaks my heart. And you know, you got so much of that in here. I'm wondering if it wouldn't help a little bit to back up about 2 inches.
Yeah, I was sitting too close. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It made it hard for me to get to the unicorda. I'm too tall.
Oh, really?
Well, I was too far forward. I couldn't really get it. My knee was
Oh,
too high.
okay. Okay, yeah, it sounded like you were too close, and it looked like it too. I mean, you were in the ballpark with the elbows being in front of, you know, your body, but I felt like we needed 2 more inches there. And here's the other thing: if you can, with your hands, if with those arpeggio ones, can you play them with flatter fingers? Could I hear a little demo of that, like just the first line?
It's hard because then you lose the articulation on the pinky. Because then you go further, then you have to play the pinky flatter, and it makes it, for me, it makes it a bit harder to.
Let me watch that. Can you angle it down? I might be able to help you with that.
Sure. I'll just play from the beginning.
Just a little bit slower. Can you get the fingers flatter? The middle fingers or not?
I can try. I mean, I'm already up against the fall board.
Oh, shoot. Uh, can you move the hand a little bit? Giving you this view. Can you move the hand a little bit in?
my middle finger goes up into the fallboard. I can play with it.
Maybe it'll work to do it the way you were before, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
It might try this because I don't think that idea is going to work if you're already on the fallboard. When we have our hand on the piano, we have the weight, this part of the hand and this side of the arm to be slightly weighted on the top fingers where you're doing the melody. Can we try that? Yes. That's it. That's it, Jared. That sounded a lot better to me.
Well, it's better. It's more from gravity than from pushing it.
It's gravity?
Yeah, it sounds from gravity rather than me pushing it down.
I thought it was very powerful. Let's play with that, with the technique of that, because see if you can do it pianissimo, same thing. Okay, good, good. Okay, Jared, this is the direction we want to go with this.
Got it.
It's going to be gorgeous when you do this. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to hear this in March. Beautiful job. Beautiful. I think those two things, leading the crescendos with the left hand, those bass notes, and leave the arpeggiated middle, leave them out of the scene with the dynamics. We will hear it, but we don't want them to be the instigator of these crescendos.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're ready to close out the class. Thank you all for coming and staying in the class. I see we've got a chat. Oh, we have Aditya said to Connor. Aditya had something for Connor. He said, nailed it. And Judy had some comments for Connor. This is nice. And Emmett said, wow. We got a good cheerleader in the group. Aditya. He's very verbal. He's talking about almost everybody. Nailed it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Connor saw those.
He did?
Yes, he saw those.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Unmute yourselves. And let's give a good round of applause. Today we had some very well prepared performers. I was really excited to hear everybody. Thank you. See you March 20th.